All right, guys, the area of land that you see behind me is approximately a third of an acre. It's 40 meters wide by 60 meters in length. And I'm going to build here what I'm going to call a commercial-sized hobby aquaponics system. And the reason why I'm calling it a hobby aquaponics system is because I have no intentions of making any money initially on this system. There's a lot of arguments about whether or not aquaponics is commercially viable. A lot of people have made it viable, and a lot of people have failed in trying to do so. So I want to eliminate all of those arguments in terms of my project being included in those arguments, and basically approach this as a hobby. Some people buy a new car, some people like to golf, some people like to skydive. I like to grow shit aquaponically, and that's what I'm going to do. For me, I spent about a decade doing a job that paid really well that I wasn't particularly finding any satisfaction in, and now it's time for Ryan to do what Ryan wants to do. Kind of a selfish attitude maybe, but that's what I'm going to do. The good thing is I'm going to share every single penny that I spend on this project is going to be shared with you. So you're going to get an idea as to the cost. People get really weird about money. I don't know where that comes from. I have no business plan. I have no established market for my product. Those things don't matter to me. I'm doing this from a hobby perspective. I want to grow food aquaponically. So that's what I'm going to do. That being said, I'm going to share all of the costs as we go. I can tell you right now, you can see this area of land has been filled with soil. The reason for that is it was covered in trees and brush before. It needs to be cleared, and you need to have a level of soil which will bring you up above what's called the flood level. All of the land around me is lower, with the exception of that someone's building a house here. They're above me, but there's a creek in between us, or a low spot of land where the water would flow. It's all about water. If I have during the tropical, the rainy season here in the tropics, we get a lot of water. So that's the reason for the soil. It cost me $6,000 to accomplish this. That's our first big expense. The next one will be concrete and everything else. Right now, we should break ground in about 5 to 6 weeks. And the reason for the delay is that the foreman that I'm waiting for is currently involved in other projects. Once those are finished, we'll start on mine. That's the guy that I want to do my work for me. He will manage everything. I don't speak the language for me to try to manage. And additionally, I don't have the competence to create massive amounts of concrete and control all of that. Everything will be built primarily out of concrete, my grow beds and everything else. We'll have, as it stands now, 2,500 square feet dedicated exclusively to growing space. So the square footage in which I can place a plant, which can be grown aquaponically, will be 2,500 square feet approximately, give or take 500 square feet, we'll say. That's, separate from the fish area and all of that. So you'll get to see the complete build from start to finish. You'll see all the PVC being laid, all of the cement being poured and framed, and how we did all of that. It'll be strongly, if not completely, based on the UVI, which is the University of Virgin Islands Aquaponics System. I will put links for you where you can get additional resource materials. If I can recall those links, I've got the documents saved on my computer, but I will share those with you. Then, of course, when we get the system built, we'll go through system cycling and how to get all of that up to speed, getting our bacteria established, and most importantly, you'll get to learn from my mistakes, because undoubtedly I will make a lot of them. So you'll get the total cost. I can tell you right now the budget is $30,000 approximately, give or take 10 grand. So $30,000 to $40,000 is what I'm going to put into this thing. And you'll see what each thing costs me. It's not going to be relevant to you if you're in the United States or Canada or Europe, because your costs are going to be different from mine. My cost per cubic meter of concrete is something to the effect of just under $60 per cubic meter. That cost would be much higher in the US, I think, than it would be here. So that being said, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you guys are going to get something out of this as well. Like I said, this is kind of my way of giving back to the aquaponics community, which has taught me so much freely on the internet through various forums and things like that. But you also have what I call your tire kickers, your skeptics, which is fine, but I'm not going into this with the idea that I need to make money. I fully have every intention of my electricity bill is going to cost me money every month. My, certain things like propagating seeds and all the costs are associated are going to fall on me. And then I think within a year's time, we can work up to a point where I can start to mitigate some of those costs if I can produce a quality product. But that's what's most important. If I can create quality, then we can sell quality. And that's great. But I'm not walking into it with that mentality. If I lose every dime I put into this, but I get 5 years of enjoyment out of it before I go back to work or whatever I end up doing in the next portion of my life, that's sufficient enough for me. That's fine. So I'll take you around and kind of do a pan. My editing skills suck, so I probably won't get everything like I need it to. I think I covered all of my talking points. Let me look at these real quick. Oh, there's also not going to be any proprietary information. There's nothing that I'm going to keep or hold back from you because I'm not intelligent enough to come up with shit on my own, so I just have to copy stuff that's already been proven to be effective. So there won't be any of this, oh, well, I've got this and it's working really well, but I'm not going to share it with you because I'm going to try to patent it and sell it to somebody else. There won't be any of that. Everything that I do here, you will see it. You will have all the information that you want. If the video doesn't cover it, you just email me and I will provide you the information so that you can implement the things that I'm having success with or avoid the things that I'm failing at. All right, that's it, guys. Not a whole lot else to cover. Again, please be patient. It's going to take, I would say, a month to a month and a half before we start getting concrete in here. I'm still pricing out a lot of the stuff, and the price is ultimately going to determine how big I can go. If I find out that I can do more within the $30,000 to $40,000 budget, then we'll do more. We'll get bigger. I've got plenty of room. The aquaponics as it stands now would only take up about 1/4 of the width because I'm going to do everything to maximize the length. So we still have a lot of room where we can grow hydroponically, very inexpensively. We can grow organically with raised beds or other things. Lots of area for me to use here, and I intend to do that within my means as best as possible. If you find this information useful or you want to follow the build, please do subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. Thanks, guys.